All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews, and damn, do we have a lot to talk about right now. So we're doing Maniac, episode 9. It's called Utangatta. Holy moly, what a great episode. So full spoilers ahead if you haven't seen this. Seriously, folks. To reiterate, the originality and the imagination that it took to create this show, we've still got an episode left. So, but just this guy, wow. Again, comparing it to like the lengths of the way that it's done and thought out, like shows like Legion and movies like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, this is up there now with that to me. Definitely, hands down, easy. Performances in this are fantastic. So let's just start trying to tackle this because there's so much to talk about. So we're in confrontation still. Emma Stone's Annie had made that deal with the physical manifestation of Gertie in the computer. I never thought that I'd have to, if I ever was going to talk about Sally Field, I never thought that in her resume you'd have to say that she was the physical representation of an artificial intelligence inside a computer. Like, I don't think she ever thought that she'd be able to say that at some point in her career she's going to be playing an artificial intelligence. But that's fantastic. So here we are. We're with Jonah Hill in this little blonde wig. His name is Snorri, and this guy had me cracking up from start to finish. I know where it's like it's this serious situation that they're in, but the fantasy that Gertie has put them in is so damn funny. It's like a little bit Dr. Strangelove too in this, just a little bit. Just kind of the round table and the different nations and dealing with like an end of the world situation. And if it was in black and white, it would really be, because it's got that, everything's kind of got that plywood, like just kind of low, just not really good looking, like they're in like a office building from the 70s kind of feel to it, which I think maybe this fantasy does take place in that time period a little bit maybe, but so Snorri this is why I have this strange dialect. Oh my God, Jonah Hill. So he's trying to talk to Grissom, who's in this fantasy. He's this guy who they're talking about Ernie. This person, creator, or whatever, has died. It's Snorri's fault, and they've got to tell the NATO what happened. And so you find out that Ernie's an alien that died, and all the nations of the world are worried about an alien invasion coming to just kill everybody on Earth because their, alien buddy died. And they start asking for, Snorri's like, it is my fault. If I keep talking like him, oh my God, I'm not gonna be able to stop. Just when they like tell us everything, and then he starts, of course, like Chunk in the Goonies starts telling his whole life story, like, well, my mother was born. Just gives the pertinent details, and he just kind of he thinks he's one of those people you have to be super specific with. So he finally starts talking about Ernie, who we never see except for a little like Grover looking hand, which I'm fine with. The mystery of what Ernie looks like, it doesn't take away from what happens. So it's like they talk about how Ernie was this little man, I thought he was a little person. Sorry. Gotta get it together here. So he teaches people, like he gives Grissom, he cures Grissom's daughter of cancer I love Billy Magnuson in this show. He gets to do so many different things, as just like Jonah Hill and Emma Stone do. He gives the American military like time travel theory. What did he do for Snorri? He did something for Snorri. I can't remember what it is right now. But they're gonna give this speech. They're getting ready for the speech, and everybody's having this crazy party. And Snorri accidentally drops his gimlet onto the amplifier that has the microphone plugged into it. So when Ernie comes out to give his speech, he touches the microphone and proceeds to explode all over everyone, spraying blue goo everywhere, and Snorri scream. Oh man, I'm not doing it. But they're like, I love when they're like asking him what happened. He's all like, so he blames himself for Snorri's accidental death, and now the aliens are coming to hit us with a heat ray, and as the general says, we're all fucked. And this is where we see, Snorri sees Emma Stone's character sitting there, and immediately there's something there besides Snorri looking at Emma Stone. There's something going on. He knows, a connection's there, but he doesn't know why. So they, now on the outside, Sally Field's Gertie is trying to convince James that the computer's gone batshit crazy. She's so filled with grief and depression that her emotions are all over the place, going from godlike to childlike, and it is dangerous. And she's threatening to keep everyone and toy with them, and it's bad. It's got to get shut down. And of course, Fujita is the one that brought her there. Fujita's the one that modeled the brain after her. And now that she's telling them, like, you brought me in to help, I tried to help, this thing is nuts. And of course, Fujita as soon as she doesn't hear what she wants to hear, she completely does a 180 and it's like, well, fuck you, get her out of here. You're right, she's nuts and she messed you up and blah, blah, blah. And so now back inside, Snorri meets her character here, who in this version works for the CIA and is a very accomplished killer and taking out people. You're very good with the gun. And she is, and she's calling them her inner demons, which is pretty much probably true, and that's why they just go down like nothing. I mean, she's just nailing it, and it's a great sequence. It's a really well done sequence, and Emma Stone gets to do like some of her own stunts here and stuff, and it's pretty impressive. The chain gun, all of a sudden they come out of the elevator and they got a fucking chain gun. It's just, I love it. And even Snorri gets to kill. I killed many men. So they get into the elevator after killing a whole lot of people. Well, imaginary people, whatever, video game people, however you want to put it, simulated. She tells him that he's an alien. And that's why he's different, and basically how they don't know who they are. They don't know what they are, and it's kind of saying that about themselves outside of this. Speaking of what's outside of this, that whole thing at the NATO thing just rings, echoes of what's going on in Owen's life, that he's being asked to take the blame for something that he's not really responsible for. It was like the court case that they want him to, do for his brother. It all kind of still goes back to the thing that's happening in here. But when she finds that thing that's inside him, and it pops out, and it turns into the popcorn kernel, that's his mind, popcorn problems, and it wakes him up and realizes who he is. And now he's trying to convince her who she is, that he turned into a hawk. And now you made him a deal with Gertie to never wake up, and now we got to get you out of here because you made a bad deal, and it's time to get out of here. This is when Grissom shows up. Also, they show that when they're in the elevator, you get to see a couple of the other subjects fantasies. Now, the first one, the one guy he's like with a bunch of animals, which is whatever. But Alice Beasley's, the one lady with the dark curly hair. If you haven't seen any of my reviews, she was the secretary on Moonlighting with Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd. They opened up the door. She also had this part where she was reading Black Beauty, and she was just waiting to find out when the horse was going to get killed, which made me think, okay, this lady's got some darkness in her. And sure enough, when they open the doors, it looks like, okay, first she's like hovering. I think she's hovering, and there's blood everywhere, and it looks like the hallway elevator scene in The Shining, where the blood's just poured out. It looks like they're making a little homage there to the Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, which, again, a lot of these shots and the way this show has been filmed in certain ways is very Stanley Kubrick, in my opinion. So this might have been a little homage to that, showing that darkness inside this lady, like where her brain goes. So they get out, and Grissom's there, and he tells them shows them where Gertie keeps all her long-term patients, basically, where your bodies are all catatonic. The McMurphys, again, the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest kind of reference. And that would be like 2 references to Jack Nicholson things in like the space of a couple of minutes, if it is a reference to these things. And this kind of wakes up Annie, realizing that she's got to go because Owen tells her, you made a bad deal. You got to go fix this. You got to get out of here. So she leaves, which Jonah Hill mentions, like she's always leaving. And Grissom takes him to go fix what's happening outside, because outside, Sally Fields, Gertie, is trying to convince James Justin Theroux, that he needs to get this under control. And she gets him so upset that he gets hysterical blindness, which, great. He's so good. And it's so over the top, but in the best possible way. And Gertie basically starts shutting things down, locking them all in. She's going to take everybody out, basically. Not going to be able to stop her. I love the little animations of end time and seizure time. And the one dude gets like electrocuted, and they've knocked out the technicians. So now Fujita is trying to tell him that they're in code Epsilon, and that basically if they shut it all down, it all gets erased. So now Annie, well, first Owen's got to work on a Rubik's Cube to try to help everybody on the outside so that they can unlock the doors. I'm not even going to try to understand that logic. But Grissom, they got this like certain amount of time. It's a time clock situation. And normally I hate when people have a moment with another character in a very time crunch situation, but I feel this is necessary because him and Grissom have this chance to talk for a second and explain who Grissom is. And it's kind of easy to see, but I mean, he's a delusion. But this appears that his delusion has been trying to help him the whole time. Now, a delusion is still a delusion, and it needs to be dealt with. But he basically tells himself, that this is the version of his brother that he wished he had, and that he's been guiding him to this point. Now, whether that's just delusion talking, it still explains what Grissom means to him. And so he's working on the Rubik's Cube while Annie, and again, she gets woken up, and she's with Gertie, and she has to explain to Gertie about being like what feelings are, and that you're never gonna you're always gonna feel this grief, and it's tough shit, basically. You're gonna have to live with it. It's always gonna be a part of you, and that's life. And so she lets Annie see her sister one last time. And I love that effect where you open it up and it's the diorama. And then it's until she walks out. And then it's like she's still in one of those dioramas. But around it, it's just so well shot. And she gets to talk to Annie one last time. And this just got emotional because she's finally confronting. And even though Annie is just a part of her subconscious now, they have the talk that they need to talk about. And she finally is able to admit, why she can't let go and all this stuff. And it gets really, really hardcore, man, like really emotional. And it made me, think about, my life and my family and people that I need to talk to, you know. And it's like, if you have something to say to somebody and you're not doing it because of fear or whatever, and if it's something that that's not going to hurt anybody, you know, and it's driving you nuts, you got to talk to somebody. I personally, it made me realize that I have to stop not trying to reach out to my sister, one of my sisters that I haven't talked to in a while, over, you know, stuff that's from the past, that's, you know, like, so we can move on, that kind of thing. You know, we've lost touch, and it feels like neither of us want to, you know, branch out. But you know, it's one of those things, you just got to do the hard thing. And so she finally does. I'm sorry to bring up my own personal thing. It hit me. And so she's finally able to say goodbye, and Ellie gets on the elevator with Gertie, and she says good luck, and Owen finally, you know, gets the cube fixed and the doors open up, and this is after, though, James, you know, pulls the lever. He's like, I'm gonna kill my, you know, virtual mother, my simulated mom, but it doesn't work. Gertie's got everybody locked out of the situation. I love Sally Field's reaction. They see how hard it is to kill a mother's love. Great line. But because of what happens with fixing the Rubik's Cube, the doors all open and they basically take Gertie apart. She has one last plea where she says, please don't punish me for, you know, being sad. And then right before he unplugs the last part, he says the exact same thing that Gabriel Byrne said to Owen when he was drilling that guy's head about the hippocampus. You know, it's kind of hard to like remember things like that when that extreme kind of violence is happening. But that's exactly like when he was drilling it, he was saying, remove the hippocampus and all, you know, like. So he pulls that out, and effectively, Gertie is gone, and Owen finds Annie, and they wake up. And that's the end of the episode. But here's the thing. We've got an episode left. And they may have shut it down, but I mean, I don't know. This feels like this is going to go one of only a couple of ways. It's going to be either a straightforward epilogue where Owen deals with the things that he has to deal with, and she deals with the things she has to deal with, and they somehow, you know, find each other again, and be pretty straightforward. Oh. 1 second. Sorry about that, everybody. I had a little bit of an interruption. So where was I? Okay, so yeah, it's either going to be straightforward like that, or we're going to get like something crazy. I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm just saying this to prepare all of us for, you know, certain situations that could occur. Is that one? Maybe they never got out. Maybe that they think they shut down Gertie. Maybe all of this is something that we aren't going to really see coming. But I would like just to make sure if you've already seen this and you're going to be like, you know, I could be completely off base. But for those of you who are watching it and haven't seen to the 10th episode yet, like I haven't yet, I feel like we're either going to get straightforward thing or a mix of straightforward with a crazy like ending. So that's just to be prepared. So anyway, that's it. Fantastic episode. Emma Stone again, and Jonah Hill, whew, just killing it. Just killing it. Sally Field's great too in this. Everybody's great in this. So if you liked this video, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. I don't see a lot of people talking about this, so if you have people that watch this show as well, share it with them, and maybe we can get some more people, get the discussion going, because this show really deserves to be talked about. And that's it. So we will be seeing you on the last episode. I will probably, I'm going to be definitely finishing up this show today, so I'll do the 10th episode review here in a little while. I got a few things I got to take care of, but otherwise, this is Robin Smirking Gun Review saying, again, great TV. Great TV here, man. Thank you for watching this. Thanks for all the support. We are only like 4 subscribers away from 300. So it's amazing. That's like 100 subscribers in less than 2 months. So anyway, that's about it. And have a great Wednesday. Bye.